Alright guys, another fun truck of mine. I don't even know what you'd call it. Kind of reminds me of that Johnny Cash song, One Piece at a Time. That's this truck. It's a scx10 2 chassis, scx10 OG axles, uh, and some Red Cat parts. But you can kind of tell by looking at it, it's a fun build. It's very fun to drive. It's really capable. I have the AX10 beadlocks on it, the Rock Lizards. I had a set, and they worked really good on this truck. But it's literally like 3 trucks worth of parts I had laying around slapped together. But it works really, really good. I kind of took it on a shakedown run this weekend, and I drove this most of the time, and it was really good. One cool thing that kind of came from the guy I got it from is it doesn't mount up here. It mounts in the back, and there's 2 little magnets on here and a piece of metal. So it's kind of magnetized, and then there's a little post and a clip. But really cool stance on the truck. It's got a like a really nice stinger. That's really low profile. It's kind of like doesn't stick out too far lower than the body line, which is nice, but probably one of my favorite bodies. It always gives a lot of looks when I bring it out. Really kind of mean looking truck. But like I said, it's a 10-2 chassis. The AR44s went to my AX10. It's a Red Cat transmission from the Pro, so it's got the steel gears, slipper. The Red Cat upgraded drive shafts actually fit perfectly on here. I've never had a problem with them. The truck doesn't have that much power, so it's more than happy with that. These are just some alloy, I don't even know, shock towers that I got and a bunch of parts. These are the Gen 7 Pro shocks, just stock springs, pretty much everything stock about them. And then these right here are the axles off my AX10, and I have a BP Customs 4-link mount. STRC stainless lockers or lockouts in the back. Other than that, the back links are stock. We have the AE5, which is what came with the 10-2, and then I put the the Axial 55 turn motor in there. Loads of torque to turn these big wheels, but believe it or not, I don't know what the gearing is. It's whatever it came on the Gen 7 portal kit. So I think it's kind of geared up a little bit for a little bit more speed because of the gear reduction for the portals. Actually has a decent amount of wheel speed. We have some Samix front shock towers that somebody cut. I have no idea why. Supposedly for clearance, but doesn't really affect how I have them. In the front here, I have a real janky. Let's see if you can see it. There it is. Whatever, pan hard bar. It's really kind of janky, but it took me a while to get it to clear and not bump steer. So like the bump steer in this is pretty minimal to nothing. I mean, my tires don't really move, and that was kind of really tricky to get. The Axial, this is Axial, this is Vanquish, and the front links on this are all Vanquish. Axle on the front's mostly stock. I just have the BP Customs Panhard 3-link setup to run the chassis mounted servo, and inside here I have some Racing brass weights, just to get a little bit of weight on front, but all the C-hubs and all that stuff's all stock. This is kind of like my grasser truck, so I don't really build it too much. It's kind of like if a buddy's gonna come out crawling with me or something like that, I kind of let him run this thing because it's pretty indestructible, and I haven't sunk a fortune into it. It's kind of like my junkyard build. But like I said, I took it out this past weekend, and it was an amazing truck, for what it is. Some kind of cheap servo. It came off a Losi Nightcrawler I had. Don't know anything about it. I think it's like 170 torque. Nothing fancy, but it turns just fine. Turning radius in this truck is awful, thanks to the axles. That's why I put the 10-2s on the AR44s on my AX10. Another Amazon cheap servo horn, but just very capable truck. It flexes great, decent power, loads of torque with that 55 turn. Everything's waterproof. That servo is waterproof. My receiver's in there, and then the motor, I did the water break-in on, obviously is waterproof. AE5, I've gotten it wet, never had a problem. Just a really fun build, kind of like, you know, something you don't got to worry about, you know, break when, you know, vanquish parts and all that stuff. It's just, you know, I would say, especially for like an entry-level crawler, really good, a lot of fun. Just like I said, a really good truck to come out. I mean, this past weekend I was driving this and my VS410 Origin scx10 build, and I ended up driving this the majority of the time, mostly because I had body rubbing issues on my VS410. So this was kind of my go-to rig. So anyways, guys, nothing fancy, just, you know, a really, really good beater. The only thing I will say too, this trans is only held in with 2 screws because I guess it's a different bolt pattern. I've ran it like this forever and I've never honestly had a problem. I check them every once in a while and the screws have never come loose. So that's the only kind of sketchy thing if anyone's trying to replicate this. But anyways, guys, like I said, there's kind of like my monster truck scx10 build. So have a good one.